Thanks, Sophie. Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North. On the programme tonight, protesters say they'll fight on after a decision on whether to expand a water bottling factory in Harrogate is deferred.
This has been going on for 7 years now, and I'm just frustrated, tired. How many more years does this have to go on?
There were more than 1,000 objections to the plans. Also tonight, we hear from worried relatives and stranded holidaymakers in Jamaica about the impacts of Hurricane Melissa. Huddersfield is promised a facelift as one of the biggest regeneration plans in the country gets underway, and...
Ever seen 300,000 of these? No, me neither. Until now. Join me at the biggest pumpkin festival in the UK.
Plenty of sunshine around today. We're going to be lucky again tomorrow. A few showers, but it's looking mostly fine. But what about Thursday and Friday? Join me for that detailed forecast.
Hello there, thanks for your company this Tuesday evening. First on the programme, there were over 1,000 objections and protests, but it hasn't proven enough yet to save 500 trees in Harrogate. Instead, councillors decided to defer a decision that might have saved them. The trees surround a water bottling plant that wants to expand its site, felling trees that are in the way. Kathy Killick reports.
Protesters gathered in force before the meeting, hoping to persuade councillors to reject plans to expand Harrogate Spring Water's bottling plant. It sits above an aquifer in the middle of woods, planted 20 years ago by volunteers to tackle climate change. Expansion would destroy 2 acres of it. In the end, the decision was deferred.
How many more years of this? This is ridiculous.
Not the result campaigners hoped for.
This has been going on for 7 years now, and I'm just frustrated, tired. How many more years does this have to go on? Sorry. We will keep fighting this.
In the meeting, councillors clearly struggled with their task. As outline permission was already granted in 2017, they had few, if any, legal grounds to reject it now. The deferment allows them to ask the company, who also attended the meeting, for more detail about how they'll make up for the felling of trees.
Councillors wanted to see more evidence on the net biodiversity gain that could come from this. We haven't seen this evidence yet. We know, more work is needed on the lighting survey, on the noise survey. So I think the applicant is going to have to go away and do quite a lot more work.
Harrogate Spring Water has already pledged to buy an adjoining field and plant 6 times more trees than they fell. In a statement, they also told us, "Our plans represent a significant investment in Harrogate, creating over 50 new jobs, delivering an annual £2.3 million boost to the local economy and a commitment to protecting the local environment. We will continue to engage with the relevant parties ahead of the next planning committee meeting." Is the destruction of the wood worth it? In 2017, when permission was given, the thinking was yes. But the woods became a haven during COVID, and since then, North Yorkshire Council has declared a climate emergency, making the past decision unpalatable in the present. A deferment may merely prolong the agony. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North, Harrogate.
Next tonight, as we've been hearing, the world's strongest storm of the year, Hurricane Melissa, has just arrived on the island of Jamaica. There are warnings of catastrophic and life-threatening conditions. It's a really anxious time for people in Yorkshire, worried about loved ones back home, and also for holidaymakers who found themselves caught up in the catastrophe. Beth Parsons has more.
The hurricane warning arrived on Friday. Some holidaymakers tried to fly home or leave the area, but with airports closed and the few flights that were leaving full, for many, including one family from Huddersfield, leaving Jamaica wasn't an option. This is the view from their hotel room in Negril on the west side of the island. They've been told to stay inside with the doors closed.
They started to close down large areas of the hotel, move things inside, unscrew things that were outside and part of the furniture that may get damaged, and really, cover all the windows with wooden planking to protect the infrastructure. And then over the last 36 hours or so, we've just seen the hurricane intensity grow and grow. The hotel have been very good. They've been having daily meetings with all the guests at lunchtime every day. They prepared food hampers for all of the rooms, and we were told early evening to go into our rooms, close the doors, not to open them until the hurricane had passed. You just get a real strong feeling that there's quite a lot of fear. All of the staff in the hotel are deeply worried about their homes, about their families, about everybody's safety. You do get a real sense that this hurricane is a little different to some of the others that they've experienced.
And that worry is something that's being felt by people in Yorkshire too. Jamaican Oral Blackford runs a restaurant in Leeds and says he hasn't been able to get in touch with his family on the island so far today.
The thing that's worrying is how slow moving it is. So it's not just the hurricane, but people are sort of like just stuck waiting for something devastating to happen, which is, when I speak to my family, you can tell they're really nervous, just waiting around, really, to be honest. They've battened down the windows and stuff, so now it's just a waiting game. Just from my experience of hurricanes in Jamaica, I know you get power cuts and stuff, so a lot of times, people with mobile phones, if they haven't got batteries and no way to charge and stuff like that. So I think, fingers crossed, I'll be able to speak to them during, but most of the times it's going to be after.
Hurricane Melissa has now made landfall, and it's a nervous wait on both sides of the Atlantic. Beth Parsons, BBC Look North.
You are watching Tuesday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. A cat charity is left devastated by the impacts of a virus as 24 animals die. Next tonight, one of the biggest town centre regeneration projects in the country is on course to complete its first stage next summer. £250 million has been spent in the middle of Huddersfield as part of a project that will see empty shops knocked down and replaced by this, a food hall, public events space and an urban park. It looks great, doesn't it? There's lots of demolition going on, but one of the town's most controversial buildings has escaped the bulldozers. Here's our business correspondent, Spencer Stokes.
Like upturned umbrellas casting concrete, some saw this roof as an architectural misstep. Not David Shepherd.
I really did want to preserve these because I think they're a fantastic example.
Huddersfield's 1970s market hall has been stripped of stalls, but the parabolic concrete covering escaped obliteration and will provide shelter for those in search of sustenance.
The first time I came in here, it was a market hall. My eye level was drawn down, but I looked up and I saw these fantastic parabolic structures, and I thought we had to do something amazing with this space and really celebrate the architecture. And this is going to be one of the best places, certainly of a food hall that I can think of internationally, but it's also going to be something that people in Kirklees can be proud of.
Beyond the food hall, more building work is turning heads. Here a new public square that can host 3,000 people is being created, fronted by a gallery and museum in the old 1930s library.
The space behind me will be paved, there'll be fountains, and it'll be used for open public events then. It's giving somewhere for the public to come and actually enjoy the food hall, the museum, the library that's going to be here, a community hub almost to come and enjoy during the summer and I suppose the winter months as well.
But Huddersfield's town centre makeover doesn't end there. Phase 2 will see shops levelled. This pedestrian precinct shows how our town and city centres are changing. There used to be some big retail names here, WH Smith's, British Home Stores, Superdrug. They've all gone. These buildings are now going to be knocked down and replaced with not retail, but an urban park. Huddersfield could take inspiration from this city park in Manchester. Adding green space is the current municipal vogue. With a new library set to open next year and in the latter stages a music performance venue, the council believe this project secures the town's economic future. It's council money. Could that money be spent on care homes, schools, or filling holes in roads rather than doing a big mega project like this?
Unfortunately, as much as we often hear that from people, why can't you spend this money on other things? This money is capital money. It's borrowing, which isn't available to spend on things like schools. Schools have got their own ring-fence budget. Highways, roads and potholes have their own ring-fence budget. But this is about ensuring the future. If we didn't do that, then the whole of the town centre would completely die.
This is £250 million worth of spend on one project. In national scales, I can't think of another project on this scale in a town centre up and down the country. But I'm just pleased that we're delivering it here in Huddersfield.
The food hall should open next summer, complete with parabolic roof. The first stage in this multi-million-pound reinvention of a town centre. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, Huddersfield.
And we'll keep you up to date with how that goes. Let's have a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom now. Airport bosses are considering asking again for rules on night flights at Leeds Bradford Airport to be changed. They've sent early stage proposals to the council to replace a quota on the number of flights with an annual noise quota. They say it'd encourage airlines to use quieter planes. Campaigners claim it would lead to thousands more overnight flights. Council tax in Bradford could rise by just under 5% in April, just a year after the district's residents were hit by an almost 10% increase. A price hike of 4.99% for the 2026 to 2027 financial year is the maximum it can go up without a referendum being held. Last year, Bradford Council were awarded exceptional financial support by the government, allowing it to prop up its finances through borrowing and by selling off assets, and it still needs to make savings of over £60 million next year. A sad story now. 24 cats have sadly died in an outbreak of a highly contagious virus at a rescue centre in North Yorkshire. Filey Cat Rescue has had to bring in COVID-style decontamination measures to try to reduce the spread. Dave Edwards can tell us more.
Filey Cat Rescue is one of the biggest cat rescue sites in England. It's home to about 300 animals. But for the past month, all their lives have been in danger.
It started when a cat was not very well and not eating, and we took her to the vets, and at 5:15 I got a phone call to say that she'd been sick and she'd died, and that she'd tested positive for a highly contagious virus.
My cats here, were at immediate danger. I knew that they were probably, a lot of them were not going to survive.
The virus is feline panleukopenia, which attacks the immune system, the guts and sometimes the heart. It's often fatal, and sadly 24 of the cats here have died. The owners have brought in a strict cleaning regime to try to reduce the spread.
We use foot covers all the time. We use hundreds of them a day. We have big 8-kilo food and water containers so that we don't have to go in there so much.
It's been probably the hardest time in our lives, having to deal with something which you can't see. You don't know whether you're actually carrying an infection with you from run to run. You do everything you can to try and be preemptive to try and stop it spreading, but you don't really know whether you're doing enough, and you can never be sure of it. You can only do your best.
It's thought about 40 or 50 cats have recovered from the virus.
Hello, my girls. Are you okay?
These ones were seriously ill and didn't eat or drink for 10 days, but they're now doing well. And it's all thanks to the hard work of the volunteers and the generous donations from the public.
Every penny goes to the cats. There's nobody gets paid. Everybody's a volunteer, everybody that's involved with it, and I think that's says a lot, because the volunteers we have do it entirely for the benefit of the cats.
Hey, babies.
Tina and Mark say they hope they're now over the worst of the outbreak, but it'll be some time before things can get back to normal. Dave Edwards, BBC Look North, Filey.
What a horrible time for them. A campaign encouraging children and young people to talk about their mental health has been launched at Rotherham Football Club. Called Mind Goals, it wants young people to ask for help if they need it. Our reporter Tom Ingle is at the New York Stadium where the launch is taking place. Tom, it's all yours.
Good evening, Amy. Yes, here at the New York Stadium, the pressure is on tonight on the field because the Millers are taking on the Manchester City under-21s. Footballers very much used to dealing with pressure on the pitch, of course, and maybe increasingly off the pitch with the advent of social media. So that's why the club has teamed up with young people, and the young people have come along to ask the footballers questions about their mental health coping strategies. Let's take a look at how it's gone along.
The main thing was dealing with negativity. As footballers, that's what we have to deal with quite a lot, and it can be, you know, it can be something that they can use maybe in their school or home lives as they're growing up, when they deal with things that go against them or don't quite go their way, and how we can help them, tell how we deal with negativity now in this environment is something they can take into their environments.
They said how they deal with anger and what they do with their mental health and how they deal with it.
You do help other people, but you make sure you help yourself, because if you're not happy, then other people aren't going to be happy at the same time.
Everyone has problems, no matter how small or big they may be. So I think definitely, like you say, it's nice to know that everyone can share the way they feel and, you know, have a chat about it. Sometimes it's lovely to get things off your chest.
As a young guy, is it important to see male role models open up and talk about their mental health?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think it's a real big important role in her life.
I'm here now with Gemma and Dan to discuss how this scheme works. So Gemma, you're from With Me in Mind, which is from the Rotherham District and South Humber Health Trust, and you're a mental health response team, aren't you? So how does Mind Goals fit into that, and how does it work?
So we did some research with young people in our schools about kind of the barriers to accessing mental health support and what would stop them coming forward. And boys in particular told us that using role models and outdoor activities would increase the chance of them coming forward to speak about their mental health. So we asked Rotherham United if they wanted to partner up with us on this campaign. It looked like the children gave the footballers quite a good grilling about their mental health routines, didn't it? Yeah, definitely. We asked them about social media, about anger, about key mental health topics, and we're going to use those videos and posters as part of spreading awareness about speaking up about mental health. Dan from Rotherham United Community Trust, what was in this partnership for you? Why did you want to get involved?
Well, this partnership is really important for us. Our vision at the Trust is everyone in Rotherham United successful and living well. So working with organisations like With Me in Mind is really important to us. We know it's not easy being a young person at the moment, and we've got fantastic reach into schools across Rotherham. We've got coaches doing football sessions, coaching sessions, PE lessons, and we feel like we can use the brand of the football club and the attraction of football to help kids kind of open up and talk to us, and we hope that that's what this will achieve.
Dan, Gemma, thank you very much indeed. Talking of feeling positive, good luck to the Millers tonight.
Tom, thank you. And talk about improving your mental health. Some people like to write down their thoughts and feelings on paper, don't they? Maybe you are a budding poet. Well, if you are, you might want some tips from two 16-year-olds from South Yorkshire who've just won a prestigious poetry award. Nathan from Rotherham and Asher from Sheffield won the Foyle Young Poets Award against very stiff competition. More than 28,000 poems were submitted, and they came into the studio to discuss the prize. But first, let's hear a little bit of their winning poem, shall we?
For the most part, they all lived happily ever after. Dodgy Dave lost the dodgy, now he's just Dave. Joris got his new blue passport, and Lizzie wrestled her lettuce into submission. And our short king was flushed away to his very own.
He drew up the line. He had caught a bicycle. He captured and crushed the moth. He rode the bicycle to work. This is an exam. Analyse this poem. You have 45 minutes. Your time starts now.
Wow, such talent. Nathan, Asher, great to see you. Congratulations on your awards. You both have such different styles and you've written about different subjects. How did you decide what to write about, Asher, for this competition?
For me, I didn't actually write this poem intending it to go into a competition, because I think I personally find it really hard to write under pressure, and I wrote it when I was looking at a lot of different surrealist painters because art is something that I'm quite interested in.
Yeah, that definitely comes through in your poem. And you're a bit of a politics buffin, are you, Nathan?
Oh, well, kind of. I occasionally try and sneak some politics in there, but my main goal is mostly to make people laugh.
How did you both get into writing poems?
I've done it for quite a long time. I think I must have studied some poetry in school or something, because I remember having a scrapbook in which I would write and illustrate all these little poems, and all of them had to rhyme. And yeah, I've still got that, and it's very sweet to look back and think, oh, I've come quite far since then, and yeah, it's quite nice.
And do you use pen and paper, or do you type? How do you get your poems out, Nathan?
I prefer pen and paper. I think it's so much easier to edit. You can cross stuff out and scribble in the margins. The only issue then is that you have to type it eventually, so maybe one day I'll just become technical like everyone else.
Gosh, you're both so wise, and you are rightly so winners of this competition. What was it like going to London and being part of that celebration?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Even just hearing the poems in spoken form, there's so much more that can be expressed when the people perform the poems than there can be just on the page. Obviously, they're still enjoyable to read, and I recommend everyone buying the anthology. But seeing them performed, and also hearing the judges perform, and the guest poet, Jay Bernard, it just brought everything to life for me. And also, to some extent, relieve some of that imposter syndrome. You get like, oh, I've won this, but why? Why do I deserve to win it over all these other people? 28,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, incredible. 28,000, and the prize is you get to go on a writing workshop for a week.
Next February.
How does that feel, Asha?
Just, yeah, I feel like it's so great feeling like I feel like I've kind of been launched into this world of people that enjoy poetry as much as I do, and just getting to hang out for a week with other people who are enthusiastic about poetry. It's just going to be so much fun, so yeah.
It's the sort of thing that people don't get for a while. Maybe you have to publish your first anthology before someone recognises it. So to get this so early, like you say, it's like we're just being launched into this world, and who knows what's going to happen next.
Well, you are both a credit to your schools and to your parents as well. Congratulations. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Very talented ones to look out for, I think. It is half-term fun, and we've all been doing lots of this in our house anyway. It's been a bumper year for pumpkins, which is great news for all those families who are gathering in time for Halloween. It's all down to the prolonged warm weather during the summer, which I'm sure Paul will tell us about. At Farmer Copley's Pumpkin Festival in Pontefract, there are a whopping 300,000 homegrown pumpkins, can you believe it? And 40 different varieties. Lizzie Steele has gone there for us.
They're heavy, they're bright, and this year there's loads of them.
It's a very dry year, so compared to last year, in a very wet spring, we had a lot of plants fail because it was cold, wet, so we were planting them and they just didn't get the right start. However, this year, it was very dry spring, with parts of drought, and we've been quite fortunate. The warm weather has done quite well.
It's become the must-do activity of the season, and here at Farmer Copley's in Pontefract, there are more than 300,000 to choose from. Since starting 17 years ago, the patch now welcomes over 100,000 visitors, so a bumper crop is key for Farmer Jack.
A lot of job satisfaction, a lot of pride when you see the pumpkins going out the door. You think, your 6 months of hard work growing them and all that time and energy you've spent into getting them to look good and right is being enjoyed by other people. So it's certainly a proud feeling.
This place isn't just about the perfect photo op. It's the biggest pumpkin festival in the UK, with fairground rides, live shows, tractor rides, and even a sheep show.
We've really had fun. We've got something to eat. We've looked at the rides, and then we've been looking at the pumpkins, taking pictures. So yeah, we've had a good day out.
What have you enjoyed today?
Cooking marshmallows.
How many pumpkins have you picked today?
5.
5? What are you going to do with them all?
Carve them at home.
We come every year. It's our annual trip out. It's not just about picking pumpkins. It's just a place for the whole family, and we absolutely love it, don't we?
We just love picking the pumpkins, having the kids run around in the fields and, find the perfect pumpkin.
Though many have carved out time to come, the rise in demand means more waste. So what happens to the thousands that are left out in the fields?
We just plough them back in. It's basically just one big cycle. We plough them in and they just become nutrition for the soil, and they just go back into feeding next year's crop.
So there you have it, nutrition for the soil and happy memories for humans, even if they only sit still for 2 seconds. Lizzie Steele, BBC Look North, Pontefract.
I love Halloween and all of that festivity around it. We went pumpkin picking on Friday and I think they're going to be mushy by the time Halloween comes around.
It's massive now, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure it shows how old I am, because it used to be Swedes in my day.
Never Swedes in my day. You are showing your age.
I am indeed. Right, let me show you a couple of pictures anyway. That was a beautiful one taken in Birchwood near Barnsley, and the second one's a bit different. This was taken yesterday evening, an aerial shot at night of Whitby. The lights are wonderful there. Keep the pictures coming in on Instagram, on X, and on the Weather Watcher website. So although the weather pattern is very unsettled at the moment, we're dodging a lot of the rain during the day, and tomorrow I think, again, apart from a few showers at first, it does look dry with spells of sunshine. Most of any showers will be in the west. So as you can see, it is an unsettled setup, but we're dodging it, but not until Thursday night, because then we'll get rain spreading in from the west. Halloween looks very windy with showers or longer spells of rain, and it leads us in to an unsettled weekend. There's the radar picture. We've had a few showers rattling through in the last couple of hours. They've gone all the way down towards the Humber, and I think we'll keep that risk of showers going over the next few hours through this evening and overnight. There's just a chance that thicker cloud could bring more in the way of rain across South Yorkshire, and some quite sharp showers crossing through North and West Yorkshire later tonight. We'll see lowest temperatures down to 7 or 8 degrees. So tomorrow's high water times then in Scarborough 8:49, Bridlington at 9:22. So there could be a few sharp showers first thing, but they will clear away fairly quickly, and then it's not looking too bad again. A few showers mainly across the Pennines, but a lot of our region will be dry again with some sunshine. And just like the last couple of days, the best place to be along the coast, Whitby through Scarborough down towards Filey and Bridlington. Another lovely day with lots of sunshine. Temperatures close to average, 12 Celsius, a breezy day, not quite as windy as it has been today. Now, on Thursday, it looks fine during daylight hours. There could be some fog to clear, especially Trent Valley Vale of York, taking a few hours to clear. Then it's dry and bright with some sunshine. And then Friday into the weekend, as you can see, showers, longer spells of rain, although maybe Sunday the best day. There'll be a good deal of dry and bright weather by then. That is the forecast, Amy.
Trick or treat?
Treat.
I'm on the late news tonight.
Oh, that's not a treat.
You can join me if you like.
No, thanks.
Now that's a treat.
I'm off to football. Can I go now?
Oh, yes, good luck. That is it from us. I'll be on the late news at 10:30. Bye-bye for now.